Hello there. I'm gonna do a tutorial on Blender's new hair system and how to convert them to hair card or other shapes of geometry that you can use in game engines or bake textures, kind of. So here I'll be using 3.3.1. So this will be basically a compilation of everything that I learned. So let's add Suzanne and explode it, and then the subdivision, buy it, and now we're gonna add there, and also it needs to have unique UVs before starting adding here. And now when you added them there, it appended the curves object, which is auto selected. And then you can go to scope mode once it's selected, and then you can add fix here. I'm going to be using the density brush, and I'm going to not have two dens, like that. I'm going to change to 1 meter, kind of, yeah. I'm going to like mirror the density here. Nice. Okay, let's comb the hair a bit. Yeah, let's pretend that looks good. And we're going to convert to particle system, and that added a modifier. And with that, we want to go out to object mode and select Suzanne. Suzanne now has a convert to mesh button here. Use it, and then we want to go back generated mesh we're gonna use, and deselect this one. All time, do not display it, do not display the curves. So we only see the mesh now. So let's mesh. We want to convert it to a curve, and from the curves we want to generate geometry from it. So okay, display how a circle kind of works. Yeah, the circle, you need to scale it down, shoop, and then you can have like, go to the curves here, and then put on geometry, and then select object to surround it with. So basically it applies a circle around each hair strand and then extrude geometry around it. And if you go to the Bezier circle, you can set how much edge loops it's going to have. In this case, it's default 10, 12. But if you decrease it, you can have less. So if you want like cube here, spaghetti here, I don't know, you could remove that. But we're going to be using something to generate haircuts, and something figure out by testing. So you could use a path and line there, scale it down, remove all dots except the one in the center. I mean, edges, sorry, quite opposite. Now select the NURBS path. This will generate here cards, but default it's gonna create 12 edge loops, which we don't want. Now we need to select this one. It's the path that's to change. So basically you want to only create 2 edge loops, and that will make it so it's minimal in polygons. Also, in some cases, you need to like rotate the edge card. You could like take it and rotate on the z-axis in case you don't like where the cards are facing. So might be good in some cases to change those. But now we're gonna generate these. So we're gonna convert this to a mesh. And now you can see the hair cards are generated. And now we're gonna smooth it. And can hide this soft. We need to go to UV editing and change it to how we kind of want it. If you look here, you can see that all hair cards are kind of like generated from the left side. It's the start of the hair strands, and to the right side, it's the end of the strands of hair. So if you look here, you can see like it basically starts from left to. So what we want to do is basically take all and rotate it 90 degrees. So it starts from the top. It could be a good practice to have like different hair strands. Like you can like select some hair cards and change the UVs to have like a different hair design. So just to have a variation in how hair looks and so on. Could be something. And also now we have done that. All UVs are done, so we can go to shading, and we basically can create a material. And here we could create new for the hair, and here we put an image texture. Oops, okay. Create a new one. Default is good, only we're gonna change the alpha till 0. So it's completely transparent by default, and then we're just gonna paint some hair strands on it. And currently it's still not alpha, that's because in the materials it also needs to have the blend mode alpha hashed. So here we need to ensure in the material, for the node materials, you need to select the material that you, or the texture that you want to bake to or texture paint on. So we're gonna select that one, go to texture paint, put some shading here, and here we can just draw some strands. Oh, the UV is a bit not good. Anywho, let's go here and change to radius, pressure sensitive radius, so I can like draw. Here, some hair is already coming, but the white hair is not in my case at least. Can I just want to do some dark hairs, dark brown hairs. And I can draw here. That's kind of like 5 strands or 6. And it kind of looks weird because everything's reflecting. There's no ambient occlusion. Screen space. This makes everything much better. So this is kind of rapidly done. You can do much better hair strands. You also like do different type of hair strands that are joined on the end part. If you do that, so you probably should have your hair strands. It gives like this shape of fine. There are many different ways to draw them. But how much poly count is this? That's how much it is. So let's go to statistics. It's only 12K, 6K quads, 12K triangles. So we could like use decimate to decrease it. That's option. So depending on how much you're willing to sacrifice, that depends how much you can take down. So you can like try and error, whatever works in your case, how much you want. Planar also work. It retains the shape a bit more in some cases because it tried to quad remain its initial quad shape. Like that. Now you see like they have become now similar plates. So that's how much it decreased on. So, so yeah, and that's all the small things that I found how to do. Probably practice for PBR shading and so on. You probably need hair strands, generate hair strands. So basically, you can do. You could probably use the hair particle system and the new hair, and basically generate texture with the hair. And there you can generate the texture basically a plane that takes the normals from selected active object, and then you create normals by hair strands generated from with geometry. And that way you could probably make your own couple of hair strands with normals. There's some programs, but I'm not super familiar with hair cards. And it's just a experiment. So if you have any good tips and so on, write them up, leave them up, add them in the comments. I'd love to know a bit more about hair and cool, simple tricks, Or, oh, here got destroyed. Anyway, that's it for that. I'm sorry about my voice. I'm kind of sick, so last days, so it should be fine in a couple of days.